You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms. I am not in the studio. We are currently enjoying Pride Month, and this is a pre-recorded show. So if we say anything that seems inappropriate or accidentally refer to an incorrect president, fingers crossed, we do not mean to do that, and we hope everyone's having a great day. I am joined in the studio today by the man who always has his hands on my keyboards, the man who always hits return, unless it's in a smart comment from me, and then he just deletes my name and puts his name in. Mikey Chip.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Mikey?
I'm good.
We're good. And I am joined in the wonderful studio again with a guest I'm happy to have back. We have the wonderful, fabulous Tracy Ross.
Hello, everybody.
And how's life been for you, Tracy?
It's been a blast. Ups and downs, ins and outs, but it's been a blast.
And you've been touring and traveling and performing, and you have your week off, but actually your week off is trying to catch up with your normal everyday life.
Yes, my normal week is not even normal. My week off is still not a week off, so
it's okay.
That's just life.
It doesn't matter how tired we are. Everyone looks fabulous on radio.
Okay.
I know I'm like having like a 5-day shave. It's in honor of George Michael. There we are.
All right.
Our goal this episode is to celebrate affirmations. That as we're going through our Gay Pride Month, I find that a lot of our music that is gays, lesbians, and now it's finally getting out into the heterosexual world, and even some men are experiencing yoga, where you can rely on positive thoughts and positive feelings and affirmations to get us through. And it's definitely something I see a lot in the gay community, especially in the 90s dance, where everybody's free to feel good, and you've got to have pride, and you got to feel good about yourself. And that was also a theme of a lot of the disco tracks back in the day, is feeling good about ourselves. We don't really feel good about ourselves anymore, I think, Tracy. I think we just, I don't know, if I'm to believe Ariana Grande, we're all in various stages of heat, and we're like dry humping things and hoping that will get us love, which as we all know, sex definitely leads to love.
Yeah, always have.
Yes, as Ariana Grande says, love me harder.
harder.
Said by
23-year-old. She looks 12.
Yes.
And not even like the mature 12. Like, no, she's straight up like, she illegal.
Exactly.
She's 12.
You feel like a pedophile looking at her. Definitely a child.
So, some of the things I know I do when I need to get ready and get pumped up is I put on, we won't be able to play it because there's too many curse words to edit out, but I put on some Millie Jackson live track, and she all like, give it up, God. Bleep and give it up right now. Give it up. And she even calls out to the gays in that one off of her live and uncensored album, which I definitely say check it out.
Then is, of course, my favorite Millie song, the PHUQUE chorus.
Yes, the PHU.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it, but
symphony.
Yes,
yeah, because there's also the Pussy Tourette's Pussy's Boogie, which has the same PHU, but I think it's QUE, and it's easy to get Pussy Tourette and Millie Jackson confused.
Is that the same CD with FU on it?
Yeah, the FU Symphony.
Yes.
The P was spelled with a PH, because with Millie Jackson in the late 70s performed in South Africa.
Okay.
And they were like, Billy, you're going to be part of the problem. She's like, well, no, my shows will be integrated. We'll force integration. And that pissed off the white people. It pissed off the black people. It pissed off Billy had to give them a list of songs to the every night of what she could perform, and they would cross off what she could do. So she wrote the PHUCK Symphony and handed it to them. And they kind of, she believes they had the attitude of, oh, she wouldn't do this. She knows we said that you can't curse. And she's like, well, I spelled it wrong. And she performed it every night, saying it to the producers and everyone who complained about my show. The FU Symphony.
Yes.
So God love Billy Jackson. She gives us strength, but she also pisses off the FCC. I don't know who we're ticking off this week, the FCC. But we're going to start off with a affirmation song I really love, which is Madonna's Survival off of her Bedtime Stories album. This was released in October of 1994, and Madonna was in an interesting place at this time in her career because she had released Erotica in October of 92, followed with the Sex Book, and then 3 months later, the late night classic Body of Evidence. And it was Madonna on the complete sexual overexposure.
Sex.
I still wondered, like, when Lourdes went into her sex education class, if anyone said, like, I don't know where babies come from, but Lourdes came from here. And just point out one of the pictures in the book Sex. Like, I want to remember there's a scene of Madonna, and it's, like, very close up, and she's in a pool going, yep, landing strip. Like, that's all you could experience and say about that.
Yeah.
That's why my Madonna memorabilia I've lost. I'm not really upset about. Like, I got the CD, but the book was like, I don't know if I really need to have this all my life.
Not you per se, but other men will like that book.
Yes, other men will like that book. It has some pretty photos.
I will have to say, considering Madonna's sex period, there were just not a lot of penises in that book.
There's only one penis in that book, and it belonged to No, it was the porn star had since passed away. A friend of mine had his like autobiography. Yeah, the porn life really affected him. Like David, something like that. We'll have to look that up during the break. But yeah, it only had one penis in it. The book only had one penis, and we'll find out who that penis belongs to after the break. But after this, it was kind of Madonna threw a sex party, and no one really cared because Basic Instinct was out, and I did deal with a lot of people looking at the Madonna sex book, and straight guys were like, I've kind of lost all interest in Madonna. And even the lesbian was like, yeah, it kind of ruins the mystique that we daydream about our stars. And sure enough, here's Madonna being all tied up with wax thrown at her. It's like, you go, Madonna. Ooh wee. Like, you do what you want to do, honey.
I have a little funny story about that.
All right.
So the sex, I worked at the circulation desk at my college for the library circulation desk. It was my work study job. So they had a locked bookcase there that had all these weird, interesting books. Not all of it was sex. Some of it was like books from the 1500s that you had to get special permission to go out. But I had the key. Oh. So, cause we all had access. If you worked for the circ desk, we had to go get them for the people who had the correct permissions. But I could also just go down there and read them, which I did on my break sometimes. So that's how I read the sex book.
Took 20 minutes, and did you need Kleenex?
No, not at all, actually. I was just like, ooh, because this was, 97, and I hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, I want to at least see the book. And so I'm like, well, this is disappointing.
I had a fake ID, so I bought the book. I couldn't buy it because I was underage, but I had a fake ID, so I bought the day it came out. It
was less the getting the book, it was the paying for the book. Because it was $50 in 1994.
Yeah.
92.
92.
Yes.
Yeah,
There was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old self was not about to part with $50.
Yes, they joked in the days like you could pay for the real thing. Just
50, yeah.
Anyway, so that was just my little sex book story.
So. Anyway, Madonna did all this, and basically her career was considered DOA, that she was now dead, that she wasn't going to survive the 80s, she had gone too far. She did the With Honors, I Will Remember song that did okay. The adult contemporary charts would occasionally touch her, But that didn't go very far either. And then she released Bedtime Stories with almost no fanfare. Debuted at like number 4 and then dropped to like number 32, back when albums were supposed to debut. And she starts off the album with Survival, where she's singing, I'll never be an angel, I'll never be a saint, it's true. I'm too busy surviving, whether it's heaven or hell, I'm going to be living to tell. And oddly enough, it was the second single from Bedtime Stories, Take a Bow, that became huge. Okay. And then the album sold, and Madonna finally had good reviews for an album that they were like, oh, yeah. And then Madonna's interesting in the sex studies class because she was very slut-shamed to the point that she became a porn star until we've left her personal life alone and finally paid attention to her music.
She never wavered in who she was, though.
That's true.
She owned that. And she owned it whether you liked it or not. And I don't think she did it because she was rich by then.
Yeah.
So I don't think she did it for the purpose of financial gain or anything. She had became more about expression to me at that point. It's like she was trying to tell where she was in her life and in her sexuality in that time and frame in life. And I think she documented how she felt during that time. But I don't think she was concerned about a monetary gain or if it charted or not. If it did, it did. If it didn't, it didn't. But I think right now, at that point, she was trying to tell people to be liberated with their sexuality and not, have any inhibitions about it. Express your sexuality however you see fit. And they eventually caught on, some people. Not right away because there were so many people who were offended because there was still a time where people were not comfortable with sexuality being that open, and then she's being fluid with men and women. It was a little taboo, but again, she never wavered in that she figured eventually people would catch up, and now they have.
We have.
Yeah.
It did finally catch up, and I know myself being a young gay male at the time that Madonna was a role model. Like, gays didn't exist until I saw Truth or Dare. and then it's like here were people who, they may not have been the best people, but they weren't the worst people. That was just one small aspect. They were mostly the dancers on her show, and sometimes they were mean, sometimes they were nice, but they were human beings that were vital parts of what was the Blonde Ambition tour.
I have to, at this point, remark that I was very blessed to grow up in a church where, for my middle years, my minister was gay openly.
Oh, wow.
So I actually had a positive gay, role model than that. It's like as much as I like Madonna and like a lot of other gay icons, it's at the same point. It's like I was really blessed with that, and
you really were. Is this another example where your life was really good and my life was really bad?
Yeah, it was. But
you could realize things could be different.
But yeah. But it's just something to remark. Just talking about gay role models. It's like she was one, but I don't know. We can cut this out.
She was definitely one. RuPaul, I think, had came on the scene around that time too.
Yeah,
around
she was like
93.
93. Wasn't that one Supermodel?
Supermodel was 92, 93.
Big. Because I remember hearing that in high school and being all excited, ooh, RuPaul, and then they saw who RuPaul was and oh my God.
Yes. Right. Yes, I remember seeing oh my God to RuPaul. And Divine had been around also, but more of a sunset.
Underground.
See, I never thought of Divine as a drag queen. I just thought it was a
character.
Yeah.
Divine wanted to be a character actor, and Divine was just one of the characters that he performed as, and he was on the cusp of really just crossing over, and unfortunately life happened. But you don't sit around thinking about Divine as a gay man, and you don't sit around thinking of RuPaul as a gay man. They've broken through whatever ceiling it was to be respected as entertainers.
And Sylvester did too, but a little before before his time.
Yeah.
So he didn't get the recognition for what he was bringing to the table. It was really too far advanced for America to digest. That was too much. And then after him, there was another guy, Jermaine Stewart.
Yes. Yeah, you look at those old videos of Jermaine Stewart, like he's supposed to be singing the words out about him and somebody, and they have him walking around with a woman in the video, and it's like, yeah, he just walking around with her.
We don't have to take our clothes off because we don't want to.
Yeah. He has a video, Jody, where he's straight up doing his best Janet Jackson moves, and he actually has better hair than Janet in that video.
Yeah, it's great hair.
Yeah, and then Jody Watley came out. He's like, "Yeah, Jermaine, you got better hair than Jody Watley. It's okay."
So yes, those people actually came along too, and again, they were dropping the bucket to like a tingle to society to see how they would take it, and I'm sure they wished they would have made more of an impact, and probably in that day and age they did to a lot of people who couldn't speak or who felt like they had to stay reserved and keep that private, and to see someone else stand before them and shine like that, maybe it was an inner something inside of them like, good, somebody's doing it even though I can't. So for that time I think that worked. But again, moving forward to Madonna, then you had Janet. These people became gay icons to the gay America, and people started noticing, and even the artists share as well, they started noticing their core audience was the gay audience.
Cher and Diana Ross, I've always known like their audience are the gay men.
Exactly.
And when Diana Ross did shows in the 1979, I think, when she was on the Boss tour. Yeah, there was some drag queen in the audience dressed up like Diana Ross, and she was there every night. And she was there almost to the point that they were like, "Is she a tour? Did Diana pay for this person to be on the tour?"
And it started happening with her as well as with Tina Turner.
Yes.
When Tina Turner broke off with Ike, then eventually the drag queen started picking up a fan favor of hers and became like constant in the audience, and you see them up and down the street. Then you saw women even trying to emulate that. So a lot of them they can pat themselves on the back because although they're not gay, they help usher a crowd of people in to feel confident in themselves and be liberated.
Yes, they did. Amen. So we're going to play Madonna's Survival.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms. We are not in the studio. This is pre-recorded, but we're celebrating Gay Pride, viewing affirmations. I'm joined in the studio with the man always making sure this thing runs properly, Mikey Chip.
Hello again.
And we are joined with a great returning guest, Tracy Ross.
Hello, everyone.
And
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Are we going to be happy this year? It's odd to. It's going to be interesting if we could be happy if the.
Well,
we don't know where the world will be.
I feel like
we don't even know where tomorrow will be.
I feel like this Pride might be a more militant Pride than we've had in a really long time. I don't know.
We should be armed with guns with paintballs and decorate people's clothes.
No, but just
mandatory makeovers. We are tired of ugly people.
I just feel like it's probably going to be a lot more political than we've seen it before.
That would be interesting because in the Trump America, we were promptly removed from the website.
Yeah, I think did we even last an hour on the website?
No, I think it was inaugurated. Then they just took it down.
Delete.
Yeah.
LBGT. No, delete.
The Make America Great Again is going back to the 50s, where only rich white men were seen, women were allowed in homes or on their backs.
No.
And gays and blacks weren't supposed to exist.
No. We're going the 1850s.
1850s.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, there was some cowboy action out in the wilderness.
Well, there was also some other things down in the South going on.
Oh yeah. That Mr. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III, named after his father, named after his grandfather, named after Jefferson Beauregard Davis, the president of the Confederacy.
Yeah, whose statue was just torn down from New Orleans, and well, at least when we're pre-recording last week.
Yes, because New Orleans voted they aren't going to be racist anymore. Well, that's a step.
Right.
Well, I mean, Louisiana has kind of the same dynamics as Illinois with like city and country with, because New Orleans is pretty democratic.
Yes.
The difference is outside of New Orleans, there is no other place that votes Democratic in the state.
No.
Whereas in Illinois, it's kind of like that here, but Chicago is way bigger than any other city by 2 million.
Yeah,
So,
Chicago, we
kind
of control the state. So, but we're doing affirmations today, and we start off that affirmation set with "Survival" by Madonna. That I was saying how much it meant to me. That came out in October of '94. I bought it the day it came out, and I listened to it in my car, the little cassette, and I actually fell in love with the cassette, and I played it almost on repeat for my first semester of college. And for me, survival was about, I don't have to be an angel, I don't have to be a saint, I don't have to be whatever it is that other people are telling me I need to be. I'm just going to be busy living my life. And college wasn't easy for me. I transferred high school my senior year because I was just bullied relentlessly at high school. And let's just say that even to this day, I look at the Columbine kids and said, yeah, I get why you did that. I'm not condoning it, but
right.
Yeah, I could get why you would suddenly say, I need to bring a gun to school and you people need to die. And unfortunately, I then transferred high schools. I did qualify for a scholarship for low-income kids, high GPAs. And then I worked 3 jobs to get the money for college. And my dad took my college money. So here it was, October, the year Madonna's bedtime story came out, and I had moved out. That move actually went really badly, with my mother's final words being to me, "You packed the baby powder." And then she was shocked, which was moving on Saturday, that I had to pack on Sunday because I was working 3 jobs and going to college full time, that I just tossed the baby powder at her and said, "What else? Let's do this. Let's do this now. You're not going to call me and complain about things I've taken. What else?" And that ended that. And so it was me to see if I could make it on my own. And, well, I guess I'm still here. I did something right. And Madonna did something right. She wasn't the woman who suddenly ran around naked and ruined her career. She continued to have hits. She finally got respect that she deserved for her songwriting ability, for her being such a good performer. She'll probably never fight that. You can't sing, Madonna. You just. But on the flip side, if I could make $500 million off those vocals, she did something right.
Yeah, she did.
Of course, I do have to make the one comment. Madonna's music career now, because like she's not as good as she used to be.
We're not going to complain about Madonna. We all kind of age. We did Rebel Heart Rebel Heart.
I just wish she would go on do a greatest hits tour now.
That would be a great idea.
Because,
versus any more new music.
Yeah, because
that would be a good idea. She can do a stint in Vegas. this is the time. Britney's leaving, so she could definitely do that.
But she again has all the money she wants to, and maybe she doesn't want to do that, or maybe she
perhaps not.
Well, of
she's
course.
a creative being, so I think she will always keep creating.
Even if she did a Vegas show, she's still going to be doing something.
True.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she'll direct more movies.
Well, Pat LaPone will not be happy about that.
Patty LaPone just dragged Madonna through the mud recently. I remember that.
Andy Cohen, yeah.
Anyway, after that, we played Anytime, Any Place, Tracy's pick from Janet Jackson. Oddly enough, the in-between year between Bedtime Stories and Madonna's Erotica, Janet Jackson came out with her Janet album, her sexual, explicit. And Tracy, tell us how Anytime, Any Place is an affirmation song for you, how it gives you strength.
It doesn't give me strength anymore. It gave me strength when I was younger then. I think it was 20-something.
We can lie about our age here. I'm still it
Okay. But it it was almost a turning point for her as well, going from girl star and to preteen, from different strokes and all of that, into stop thinking I'm Janet and I'm saying I'm not doing this. And what was the song, Let's Wait a While? She had moved past that, but people stayed there in the Let's Wait a While moment, and they were questioning her, why are you trying to be this sexual being? But she's a woman at this point in time in her career. She's 30, so at this point, she's trying to prove to them, I'll have sex anytime, any place, anywhere, however I want to do it. Because now she's also getting to a place where she's comfortable in her own skin, in her own sexuality, and she wasn't going to be dictating how to execute that on stage or in film or whatever. She was beginning to get comfortable with her sexuality, and she had at that point been in a relationship with a guy, Rene Elizondo, that we didn't even know she was married to.
Yeah, they were married. It was her second husband, and then possibly only the second guy she had ever really dated or been involved with.
Right, and so by that time, it was anytime, any place with him, because she was with a comfortable sexual partner, which was, unbeknownst to us, her husband. So
yeah, because when they got divorced, I think in 2001, it was suddenly revealed, like, yeah, they'd been married for 8 years.
No, 10.
10 years.
They were together for 10 years.
Huh. And they were like, Janet, how'd you keep it a secret? She's like, I'm just good with secrets.
And she currently still is, for the most part.
For all we know, she could be married.
She holds true to that. She's one of the Jacksons that you get her information on a need-to-know basis. You can speculate all you want, but when she wants you to know the facts from her mouth, that's when she'll expose. But she'll allow you to go run rampant with your speculation, but she won't expose her truth until she's ready to expose her truth, which keeps her in control of her destiny and her career and her private life.
That is very, very true. And she just celebrated her first Mother's Day recently.
I'm so excited for her.
I'm proud for her. She's moved to Dubai.
No, she's out of Dubai. She's in London now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're currently going through the divorce process now. And she's currently working out something where she can be able to take the little child Issa on tour with her.
Oh, nice.
So because he's slightly against it, the father. So they're trying to work that out. But yes, she did state that they're currently going through the divorce, and the name of her tour is going to be called State of the World, and it starts September 11th I forgot where she said it starts at, but it starts in September.
Oh, wow.
So those people who purchased tickets a year ago and thought she was one of those flaky people who say, "Oh, I'll be back in a year. Hold on to your tickets." Some people did try to get some people got their money back, and some people felt like they know she's a true artist and she's gonna keep her word, and she kept it.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
very cool.
She just renamed the tour, and she's gonna change some things because the rule of his country is she couldn't show her body.
Oh.
So she only wore one costume the entire time of the concert, which she was known for changing costumes and bringing people on stage and being sexual and intimate with them on stage. But she had to remove all of that from her concert based on his religion.
The very strict religion and the policies.
So now we're going to see Janet again, anytime, any place, on stage doing anything she wants
Unleashed.
to do. Unleashed.
Unleashed.
Exactly.
That'll probably be the title. And following Anytime, Any Place, we both chose Soul Deep by Lisa Stansfield off of her second album, Real Love. I have this odd love of Lisa Stansfield. I just straight up loved her. I sometimes wish her material had been a little bit better, but it's I enjoy her albums immensely. And oddly enough, my mother was so hateful to me as a teenager. She heard the song Soul Deep, which is about having pride and going through your bad day and then going, well, if you're home, you have to boost yourself up. And she was all like... and she said, only I can make me feel this way and nobody else. And... my mama somehow heard masturbation in that. I don't know why. That's my mama. But that was Lisa Stansfield's Soul Deep. If that song gets you going, if that song gets you feeling better, that's why we love it. We're now going to play more music.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms. We're having a special Pride episode where we are celebrating affirmations, and we're also celebrating by not being in the studio. We are pre-recorded. I'm joined by Mikey Chip. You just heard his woo. Mikey Chip is still jittery about the news, and he keeps looking every 5 minutes as my other guest, Tracy Ross, and I. Hi, Tracy.
Hi. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. We keep looking at the news every like Tracy.
We don't know what's going to be happening during Pride, so big things may be starting while we're pre-recording. Who knows? Or it might be a nothing burger. So who knows?
It could be. It could be. It's. We wake up to new news every day. Every day.
New worse news, actually. New worse news.
Okay.
Anyway.
Goodness. Sometimes I wonder how they will top this, and then probably some top is calling right now into the studio, going, "Well, I top you, Thomas," and then it's like, "Are you going to tear me up like Trump?" I just going to tear up. That's a great lie. Like, are you going to tear me up like Trump tears up the Constitution? Come on, baby, lay it down. Tear it up like paper. Ain't built right. No way. So we're celebrating affirmations. We just sat through the "I Was Here" by Beyonce, "I Will Get Over" by Melanie, and "How Deep Is Your Love" by Bee Gees. And Tracy, you chose "How Deep Is Your Love," and there's a deeper meaning to "How Deep Is Your Love." Do you want educate our audience?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I was told by the Bee Gees themselves.
Oh, okay.
I so happened to wake up and catch a weird documentary. I don't know if somebody had some old film or footage or something, and they had all this going on. But Barry Gibbs speaks of a different meaning for the song that he wrote. But his brother Maurice stated that the song was about going deep into a sexual moment with a female. So for me, I was shocked, but in a way, it makes somewhat some sense, because how deep is your love? And I guess from a heterosexual point of view, and from even a gay point of view, you can really go places with that. And I'm not going to, but you can go places with that.
Yeah. Watch us be surprised. Like, that's going to be the next big thing. Like, in the 40s, it was like the pinup girl shoe and heel and legs. And then Marilyn Monroe and the James Bond film brought out these busty women. And then Charlie's Angels brought the no bras, and we jiggle everywhere.
Exactly.
And then the O's brought the plastic surgery, and watch that be the next thing. Like, oh yeah, Britney Spears and Paris Hilton wouldn't wear panties. Now we're gonna have to know, well, how much can they shoplift? How deep is that love?
Exactly. Well, you probably will find out during IML weekend. That's a great place to start.
When I worked at Batteries Not Included in Boys Town, we sold what I call the horror toys, which there was the ram bone, which is about the size of my forearm and about as thick as my forearm.
That's what I meant when I was talking about where we could go with how deep is your love. That's exactly what I meant.
That's the thankfully I have string bean arms and not like Popeye, but still it's like, no, only thing I need that in my house for is because I don't own a gun, and if someone breaks in, I'm clubbing them to death. But then it was something called
killed by giant dildo.
Yes. There was something called the Great American Challenge that was like the size of my knee to my foot, with about the foot filling in as to the lower part, the things that test us, if you will, area. And it was about as thick as my thigh. It weighed 15 to 20 pounds. And I actually sold that one to like some guy who was like 5'5" and maybe $120 pounds. And he's like, oh, I like really big things. And I'm like, this thing's thicker than you.
And probably as tall as he was.
It was so close. But more power to you. That's how deep your love is. It's
exactly.
Yeah, you can't see me, but I'm just wiping. I had to take my glasses off and wipe my face on that one.
It reminds me of that old joke about the gay man at a gay bar trying to hit on the three bottoms, and when he went up to the first bottom at the bar stool, he's like, "Well, what could you do?" And the bar stool was like, "Oh, well, I could take this can," and it disappeared the can. And went to the next guy, "What could you do?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I could take this beer bottle." He took the beer bottle. He went to the third guy, and he's like, "Well, what can you do?" And the third guy lowered himself on the bar stool.
He took the stool.
He took the whole stool, honey. So that is the deeper meaning of how deep is your love.
Yes. That coincides with Wonder Woman. Because you are a Wonder Woman if you can handle that.
It's like when I play the game Who's the Biggest Pervert. I am comfortable middle. Like, I don't need to have these special pyrotechnics. There's a reason I am not a porn star, okay? I don't need people to see those parts of my body, and I don't... Oh, you need to test your limits. There are some limits. I just don't. I don't need to do that. We're good.
Not a requirement for heaven.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Not a requirement for
Amen. Prior to that, we played I Was Here by Beyonce. And I give Beyonce a lot of grief. I admit that. I am not a fan. I have her first album, and I still am kind of ashamed that I have it. The only album I've ever purchased that I'm more ashamed of is like Journey's Greatest Hits.
Well, I'm opposite of that. Because people say that her Lemonade was the best album recently.
Yes.
I can't stand it.
You can't stand Lemonade.
I cannot stand the CD. I like Formation, and I think that's it.
See, I've been curious to buy Lemonade to see if I could learn to like it.
I tried, and to no avail. It didn't work.
No.
And of course, I've heard it. Sometimes you get programmed into liking things, whether you like it or not. And as many times I've heard certain songs, "Sorry, I'm Not Sorry," all these different songs. I didn't connect.
You're not connecting to it.
Mm-mm.
See, that happens to me.
I think this CD came for a generation beneath both of us.
I've never had the Beyonce gene. Like, I like Crazy in Love. I didn't like Destiny's Child. To me, they were like a really poor man's Sister Sledge. Like, I straight up did not like them. And I like Crazy in Love, but I don't listen to the album. I do enjoy the movie Dreamgirls, but that has to probably do more with the fact that, oh yeah, this movie isn't about the Supremes at all, and then you have Beyonce straight up dressed like Diana Ross, and you throw in a giant mahogany montage, and you think we don't know, really. And so Beyonce's just never connected. I just don't connect it to Beyonce, but I like the song I Was Here because I do like the message of wanting to make your mark somewhere in the world, wanting to say, I lived, I've grown,
I've learned.
Yes.
I think this will be a great legacy song played at her funeral.
Definitely.
Because it's the perfect funeral song to sum up her life. Actually, I think that is profound because she did come here. She conquered. She did what many have tried to do, and she's done it in a short period of time of her life. And, at this point, I don't even know how much further up she can go because the next thing would be political because there's nothing else to achieve. She's broken all the records. She's gotten more Grammys and nominations for this and that than most artists dead and alive. So I'm not sure what will she do next? She's having twins, so now she's shown us she can do that.
With her last album, she actually has the Black album, Beyonce, the Black cover just called Beyonce, that she released without a physical copy on iTunes, I believe it was, and Amazon, and that thing suddenly sold like crazy overnight on a Friday night in December. She may or may not be played on the radio anymore, but it's also she's reached the point in her career like she doesn't care. She's Beyonce, and now she's having her kids.
The difference with her is timing. She's doing what she's doing at the level she's doing it at a time where social media plays a big part for her.
Part.
Yeah.
Yes.
So back then, those people only had word of mouth. 40, 50 years ago, it was more word of mouth, a flyer in a bus stop or something like that. And then you had some people that did the Chitlin circuit. Fast forward, then you get a little bit more promotion. Then videos became prevalent and people got excited by the video and connected to the song and went out and purchased because of that. Now there is not even too many visuals, but she's still an artist that puts out a visual. Now, not even a CD. She did a whole 2-hour thing of videos
on HBO for Lemonade. Yes.
Well, who's doing that? Michael Jackson would have shut down TV for a good 15, 20 minutes for Thriller and all of that, but she topped that.
Yes, she did.
So
yes,
for her to get the money she got from HBO to even do that with music we hadn't even heard yet. Kudos, man. I mean, she's like I said, I don't even know what the next glass is. There, glass ceiling, or just go straight to heaven. Just pass bus stop and go straight to heaven because.
Okay, I don't wish death on Beyonce. I hope she's alive, and I hope she's gonna do well. But yeah, she has broken a lot of records. She's broken a lot of things. And I was here. That song also just inspires me to go out and make my mark and not worry about things. And I have gotten softer in my opinions of Beyonce. Because I've seen some memes of her or an interview where she's like, you can be the best, you can try your hardest, and you can lose.
Right.
And that's, I think, a lesson that a lot of the younger generation with this very severe sense of entitlement needs to understand is that life doesn't always work out the way you want to. And you do sometimes get knocked down and you lose. And that's supposed to happen. Exactly. That's how you grow as a human being and how you change as a human being. And the song we snuck in between there was I Will Get Over by Melanie, the woman of Brand New Key fame back in the early 70s. I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. You've got a brand new key. And she became a big folk singer, and I Will Get Over is kind of like her taking it to church song. But I like the image of she's driving through a dark mountain night. There's no lights. There's heavy storms. There's a huge cliff. Her car is breaking down. And it's just about going through all these horrible things. In that case, it's a road trip that's the car is breaking down on, and that you will get over it. You'll make it there. And I'll climb up at that mountain till I reach heaven's air. Is that you kind of, when life beats you down, we can't lay there forever.
Right.
We got to get up sometimes. We got to get over. We got to conquer. We have to adult. We have to adult and fix things. And hopefully people will start adulting and not pointing fingers and blaming and crying and wah. Why did this work? And Tracy, please, at the end of June, at the end of Pride Month, don't call me and say, I didn't become famous because of this. And I walked up 3 flights of stairs. Please don't tell me how horrible it was. And hopefully you will get over.
Well, I'm sure everyone will. Just, again, you have to put one foot in front of the other. And just like she spoke about in her song, she had a Friday the 13th moment. And she turned it into Friday the 14th. She went on to the next day. She outlived Jason. So
yes, we did. Yes. We're now going to take another musical break with affirmations.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org.
You're listening to Bottoms of the Barrel. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms. I'm joined in the studio by Mikey Chip and the incomparable Tracy Ross.
Hello.
And we are just playing some affirmation songs, talking about what they mean to us, and maybe they'll mean something to you. And I think we just need to say that if for some reason a song means something to you and it makes you feel good and want to go out and conquer the world, go ahead and listen to it. I mean, if somehow Meghan Trainor's It's All About That Bass makes you feel good putting on sweatpants and going to the club, girl, do it. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead and do it. I mean, I may give you side eye at the club. It's all right. Get used to it. That happens in life. But if that gives you power, then go ahead and do that. We are avoiding Meghan Trainor, oddly enough, on this episode. But you just sat through "Spinning Around" by Kylie Minogue, which was kind of her comeback CD. That came out, I think, in 2000, off her light years. Before Fever and Can't Get You Out of My Head, Kylie released returned to her pop roots, did Spinning Around, written by two former American Idol judges, Paula Abdul and that Carly, whatever her name was, who competed against Cara
Dia something.
Yeah, Cara Dia something. And what I like about it is Kylie talks about throwing away her old clothes, bought herself a new wardrobe. She got something to say, that she found a new direction, and it leads back to me. And she kind of views her stumbling through life as, I guess, being a top and just spinning around and bouncing around things. But it's for me, it gives me strength. It's like, I did this, I did that, and now I'm gonna go forward and I'm gonna be somebody else. I'm gonna do something new. And Light Years became an international huge hit that she finally got to put her toe back into the American audiences. And she probably discussed with her accountant and said, yeah, this is as far as you're gonna go in the US. And she's like, oh, that's okay, I make money overseas, I'm good.
I actually remember seeing, I want to say Spin Magazine, they did an article on her around then, and she was saying, well, you're not really known in America. The interview was asking, and saying, well, the Chelsea boys know who I am.
Always. We love our Kylie. And after that was Sex Shooter by Apollonia 6, a request by Ms. Tracy Ross that I can't lie, I performed this one at karaoke.
Oh, really?
I do.
Yes,
they have it at karaoke.
Yes.
Wow.
I've even learned some of the moves, but I can't get my face to look as vacant as Apollonia did. But I'm there. I'm like, I need you to get me off.
Back then. Lots of drugs.
So whenever I feel depressed, I actually do put on Sex Shooter. I need to be reminded that I put it on and I start dancing and I do the moves, and I've seen the video more than I want to admit to. And there's the 7-minute version where she spells out her own name, and it's good to know that Apollonia can spell. And one of the really odd things about Apollonia 6 is, if you ever listen to the album, it's Brenda sings most of the tracks.
That wasn't Apollonia 6. That was Vanity 6. Apollonia came after Denise Matthews, who was Vanity.
Yes.
Had left.
Yes, Vanity had Nasty Girl, and if a girl answers, don't hang up, and 3 times 2 equals 6. And there is a Vanity 6 demo to Sex Shooter, but it's Apollonia 6 who sings Sex Shooter and Purple Rain, and she's cast in Purple Rain.
Yes.
Because Motown came at Vanity and said, hey, we'll hire you, and they gave her a lot of money, and Vanity's like, yeah, I don't want to take off my top. So she went to Motown, and yes.
And that's when she did that movie.
Oh, Action Jackson with Carl Weathers and Sharon Stone.
And she did the other one.
Return of the Last...
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah. I have seen both of those movies.
So have I. And the villain, sure enough. And there was that guy in Ohio, I think Cleveland, that found out his neighbor had 3 women trapped in his basement. And he straight up looked like Show Enough from The Last Dragon.
Yes, he did.
I remember people were saying that, and I was the only white person who laughed because I knew exactly what they were talking about.
Yes, he did.
So he's a hero to the community.
Yes, he is.
And then we ended it on one of my favorite songs of all time, one of the songs I want performed at my funeral, Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross. And Tracy, this was your pick that I decided, you know what? I had the other Diana songs. Let's do this one. Tracy, how does it give you power? What does it do for you?
Ain't No Mountain High Enough gives me strength because it basically says nothing can keep me from getting from the things I want or the people I want to get to or whatever it is I want to accomplish. for her, I think she was trying to get to a lover because she loved him so much.
Yes.
But for me, it's just like it's motivation to ain't nothing. And no, there's no mountain high enough to achieve getting a new car, buying a home or whatever. It's a motivational song for me, and it just lets me know that I can, if I work hard, focus, and strategically get it together, I can make it happen. So that's what that song means for me. I think for her, she was in love with probably Billy D or something.
Berry Gordy.
Or Berry Gordy at the time. And nothing could stop her from getting it. No matter how people talked about her and slut shamed her, and she went after him. She had a baby by him, and then she was no longer with him.
Yeah. She got pregnant. I guess he wasn't going to leave his wife or something, and she ended up marrying some other guy that she was seeing at the time.
Yes, which is Tracy Ellis Ross's father.
Yes, and when Diana had her first child. Berry Gordy was there, and so was Diana's husband. And the baby came out straight up looking like Berry Gordy.
Yes, Rhonda is her name.
Yes, and to this day, like Diana Ross is a beautiful woman, and it's like little Bobby Christina, like none of the beauty touched that child. And it's like Berry Gordy and drag.
Not an ounce. And usually with age and makeup, the beauty would somewhat come together. Still nothing.
No.
And the son that child had, nothing. Not gonna happen. Bank account's gonna be lovely, but nothing else is coming that way.
Yeah, nothing's coming.
Our child's really lucky that the bank account's going to be there because, you know.
Well, we've been recently suffering through Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter on Empire.
Oh, Miss Rumor.
And is she doing her own singing at least?
I'm trying to figure that out because it's actually kind of good if it's...
Yeah, if it's her singing, like, okay, I'll give you a pass. But she's one of those people, like, I don't know which camera angle you try to get. I don't think you can
turn her upside down. Or
still look like your dad.
It's still that jawline that's...
Yeah, she looked like her dad in a wig. It just
with Demi's eyes.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, Laura Dern's no longer the least attractive woman who looked like her father.
The other one is Richard Pryor's daughter, Rain.
Rain Pryor.
Looks just like
she looks like Richard.
Version of him.
Ray Pryor was in the age of Tina Turner, so some of those more masculine features was more accepted. But yeah,
she's not a good looking woman.
No. It's like if they had cast Rumor Willis as a ravishing beauty. It's like you need to recast this role.
The other one is the Piano Man.
Ray Charles?
No.
Billy Joel's
daughter.
I have not seen her. She didn't.
Alexis Ray.
Did she get any of Christy Brinkley's looks?
No, she didn't. But she did buy a nose, and the nose made a smidget of a difference. But she has his saggy looking eyes.
Oh
so no! She doesn't look as beautiful as her mother or her siblings. Because her siblings, by that pedophile guy that Christy was married to, they're beautiful. Beautiful.
Did she at least get any of her mama talent? Her daddy's musical talent.
That she did get.
She did. Okay. There's a toss up there.
Yep,
there's a toss
she did
up.
Get.
So we're gonna play some more songs, but for me, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, as we said during the break to Tracy. I came from a family that somehow hated Diana Ross. I don't know why. We were allowed. They listened to the oldies station, and I love the Supremes tracks, but my parents for some reason didn't. And my first visual of Diana Ross, I want to say, was on like a Nickelodeon show that had videos, and they played Chain Reaction.
Oh wow!
And I love Chain Reaction. I was like, Diana's amazing. I love Diana. And when I was in 9th grade, my youngest brother passed away. He was born with birth defects, passed away at 15 months old. And a family friend had come to town to Colorado to do the service we were going to have, and he had picked up Kentucky Fried Chicken Presents Motown, 3 cassettes, and they had like 3 songs on each side. It's not a really depth level of Motown. But I listened to it, and like the first Supremes track on Volume 1 is Come See About Me.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, this is really good. I don't know what my parents were saying. This is really good. The Supreme song on Volume 2 was I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, her duet with the Temptations. And I'm like, wow, this is really good. This Diana can sing. I don't know why you're saying she can't sing. And then on the third volume was a mix that I've never found yet on CD of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, because it's a 7-minute song, so they chopped it different ways on different formats, and we'll pick the one that will fit the time the best. And similar to you, it was one of those things that it was a song that was going to give me power, it's going to give me strength, that this is a dark time, but I can keep climbing, I can keep going. And in a lot of ways, Diana Ross then became like a huge diva for me as time went on, is because she was... I didn't like it when I read one of the Motown books, but she was basically described to as the secretary who thinks she can sing. She was bug-eyed, she was scrawny, she didn't have the voice of Florence Ballard, but Diana Ross has done incredibly well for herself, yes, and she somehow managed to break down a lot of walls. And just recently watching the People versus OJ and the American History, the making of OJ, it's one of those things of like Diana Ross versus OJ Simpson makes Diana Ross look like Malcolm X. Like, she was always black and she was always proud. And I won't lie, I even cried when she won her BET award. I was there just crying at home, just having my emotional moment. And so that was Diana Ross. We're now going to end with 2 classics, things we love, adore, things we will survive through because we respect it. Right. Respect by Aretha Franklin and I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel. I have been your host, Thomas Bottoms. I was joined in the studio today with Mikey Chip and Tracy Ross.
Hello.
And we just went through Aretha Franklin's Respect and I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Those are the classic affirmations, being strong, standing up for yourself. Tracy and I, we were both in agreement when RuPaul did a double elimination because the drag queens did not know I Will Survive. Shame.
Yeah,
Shame.
Yeah.
I had a friend actually say, well, maybe they don't know that song or they don't know how to perform. No. And then I performed it a cappella 3 different ways of I'm telling you off, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to fight. At first I was afraid. You instantly move on that one. There's a mark somewhere and I hit it. Yeah. And
they didn't.
No. They watermeloned their way through that.
Yeah, that's actually gay 101. That's not even drag 101. That's gay 101. Everyone who gets their gay carrying card should have that song in their repertoire, in their back pocket, in their back of their mind somewhere, able to use that in the midst of being bullied, being any kind of way that you've been like oppressed in any kind of way. That song gives you the motivation to survive anything, even driving lessons. Whatever.
Maybe in the morning after looking at the daily news, I need to play I Will Survive.
Knowing that we got the presidents we got, you will survive in spite of, because he will impeach himself. So, yeah.
Something will happen. Tracy, if our fans want to listen to you or find you, where can they go?
You all can find me constantly at Kit Kat Lounge and Supper Club, which is located 3700 North Halstead. We're open Tuesday through Sundays, and we're open on Sundays from 11 to midnight. I will be there all month of June. So just go to the calendar, go to Facebook and click on the calendar, and you'll see my face there with my name at the bottom, and it will let you know when I am there and when you can come see me.
And you're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter?
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook. That's Tracy with an I. I'm also on Instagram is Tracy R Chicago, and I'm also on Instagram, and it's Tracy Ross.
And I'm Thomas Bottoms. You can find me on Facebook. And I have a website, thomasbottoms.com. I don't know where we are in this. I lost the technical person again. I'm horrible with technology and even worse with their people.
You can contact us on the Bottoms of the Barrel Facebook page. We do answer that.
Yes, we do. So thank you so much for doing this affirmations. And we're going to be ending out with a song that gave me the strength to let a Japanese man pay my way in Tokyo. We're going to listen to Little Red Boat because I'm praying to God to keep me afloat. Thank you so much for listening to Bottoms of the Barrel. I'm Thomas Bottoms. The magic hour is next.